Welcome to Tolosa Winery. My name is Brittany and I put together a little flow, some movement for you. So we'll build just a teensy bit of heat, we'll drink a teensy bit of wine, and we'll just move our bodies. And so things that you'll need is wine. So I have the Tolosa Pinot Noir, it's the Pacific Wind, and it is from the Edna Ranch. So right behind me is the vineyard and it's up over here to this right side. And so I invite you to first pour yourself a glass of wine. We'll cheers at the end, we'll sip as we go, just keeping it light. Eventually I'm gonna move this closer so it's just really easy to grab. So let's begin in a comfortable seat. If you're comfortable sitting on your shin bones, you can. And just make sure that you have some pillows handy because we'll use those later to release some back pain. So in your seat, just start with your palms on top of your shins. Pull your shoulders up towards your ears. And just take a moment to see what that feels like. What does it feel like when our shoulders are hiked up towards our ears? And then roll them back and down. Notice just the difference, the shift. Every single pose or posture or shape that we take in our bodies has a different physiological effect. So with your eyes closed, your shoulders soft, reach the crown of your head up really tall. And take a full breath in through your nose. Open your mouth side out. 2 more like that, big breath in. Open your mouth side out. 1 last time, breathe in. When you think you're full, pause at the top, take another sip of air in through your lips. And then open your mouth, exhale. Speaking of sips, let's take a sip of wine before we get started. If you have one, grab it. So anytime I'm facing you, I will be your mirror. We'll face this way so you can see, meet me in a tabletop pose, right on top of your hands and your knees. Use your next inhale to lift your arm up. If your neck allows, looking at your fingertips, just take some full circles of your wrists, both directions. Just checking in with the range of motion, just taking inventory. As you exhale, thread the needle. Take your arm underneath with your palm facing the ceiling. Rest your cheek on the mat. If your neck is talking to you in any way, just stay here with your palm down to support. Take some weight out. If you'd like a little bit more sensation, reach your bottom arm up and behind your back. You can reach the inside of your thigh, the crease of your hip. Use that as leverage to pull your shoulder up and back. Release your palm right back where you started. Inhale, re-extend your arm up. Use the whole exhale to release. Second side, inhale to reach your arm up. Roll out your wrist. So if you can remember the other side, we haven't had too much wine yet, just check and see if the mobility of one is different than the other. On your next exhale, thread the needle. Tuck your arm up and underneath. Rest your cheek on the mat. Lift the opposite arm up only if there's an invitation. We never want to feel pressure in the neck. This should feel really good, juicy. Use the exhale, reach your fingertips behind your back. So we're not trying to pop our back, just create a little bit of mobility in your upper middle spine. Pull the front of your shoulder back. Use the exhale to release. Open your eyes if they're closed. Inhale, re-extend your arm up. Exhale to release. So we'll get the standing postures out of the way early and we shall drink after that. Use the next inhale, tuck your toes under. Lift your knees up a little bit. So engaging the muscles of your core. Keeping the bend in your knees, press your chest back towards your thighs. So it's a modified downward facing dog. Press the floor away through your hands. On your next inhale, begin to straighten your legs, lift your heels high. Exhale, release your heel bones down towards the mat. Start to pedal out your feet. Use your next inhale, bend your right knee, tap your left heel down. Use the whole exhale to switch. Bend the left, tap the right. One more time like that. Inhale, bend. Exhale, switch. Use the next inhale, lift your heels really high. Spin your heels to the right, your toes towards the left, so you're looking at me. Shift your gaze underneath your armpit, press your chest back. Inhale to lift your heels really high. Exhale, lower your heels to the left, toes to the right. Use your inhale, spin onto the ball mounds of your feet. Keep your heels lifted. Walk your toes and your hands towards one another. So eventually meeting in a forward fold right in the center of your room. Let your head hang heavy. Then just turn your head left and right, up and down. Inhale to a halfway lift. You'll create a letter L shape in your body. Fingertips can be on something for support, maybe your couch, some blocks. Place your palms on your shins. So either or, roll your shoulders back and down. Your upper body simulates a plank. Shift your body weight forward so your hips, your knees, your heels are in one long line. And then challenge yourself to soften all 10 toes. Take a full breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Next inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plank pose. Plant your hands, step your toes back. We're only here one cycle of breath. Breathe in. Exhale, tabletop. Lower your knees down to the mat. Make sure your heels extend directly from your kneecaps. Flip your left palm up so it faces your armpit. Then rest some weight on the top of your hand. So depending on how much you've been texting and YouTubing and Instagramming, this may feel like a lot right here. You can bend your elbow as much as you need to. If you'd like a little bit more sensation, begin to straighten your arm. Maybe spin the eye of your elbow forward. Curl your fingertips in towards your wrist. If this feels pretty intense, that means it's something you should maybe explore doing more often. Release back to tabletop pose. Flip the opposite palm up. You'll notice you can figure out exactly which hand you text from the most. So mobility may be different. Spin the eye of your elbow forward, curl your fingertips in towards your wrist. Notice if you're shrugging, pull your shoulders away from your ears. Take one more breath in. Exhale, release, back to tabletop. Plank pose one more time, tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. The longer stance, more distance between your toes and your hands from our first down dog. So just notice the difference. Once again, walk your toes and your hands towards one another. Use the inhale, find a halfway lift. This time curl into a teeny tiny ball. Lift your heels high, bend your knees low, draw your chin towards your chest. If you're not already, spin around until you can face your screen. Use your fingertips for support. Use the strength of your wrist to walk your feet very wide. And just like we did before, you use your fingertips, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. So really wide stance creates more stability. Take your fingertips in your hip creases. Think about a halfway lift this time without the support of your arms. Parallel your torso towards the floor. Use your inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, warrior two. Spin on the ball of your right foot, sink deep into your lunge. So you can narrow your stance or widen your stance. Take your arms out to a T. Shift your gaze over the curve of your right middle finger. Next inhale, reach your fingertips forward. Ooh, but here's my wine. I'm gonna take a sip. I mean, why not? Extended side angle. Okay, we're back. Reach your right arm down, your left arm up. If that's a lot, use your forearm as a kickstand. What this does is really isolate toning your obliques. So there's just different expressions of each pose. Pay attention to the depth that you have in your right leg, and then commit to keeping that integrity. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Take your left arm down, right arm up. Be mindful to minimize the weight you push on your knee joint. Reach your right arm up and back. We'll do that again. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, extended side angle, with or without wine, your choice. Inhale, reverse your warrior, right arm up and back. Stay on the exhale. Inhale, warrior two. Straighten your right leg, spin on your heel, all 10 toes face back toward your screen. Use the inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, warrior two. Lift and spin your left toes, sink nice and low. Reach your arms out to a T. Press through the outside, the pinky side edge of your right foot. So you're creating an arch on the inside of your right foot, protecting your knee. On your next inhale, reach your fingertips forward. Pause here for a moment, feel the muscles, the left side of your obliques. Exhale, extended side angle, forearm to thigh, or reach your fingertips in opposition. Just paying attention to what's happening in your neck. You can shift your gaze down, forward, or straight up. Spread your fingers really wide, engage the outside of your right hip, your gluteus medius. Inhale, reverse your warrior, take your right arm down, your left arm up and back. On your next inhale, warrior two, right back where we started. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Stay on the exhale. Inhale, warrior two. Use the exhale, spin your toes towards me. Hinge from your hips, lean your torso forward, Prasarita. Once your fingertips meet the floor, use your palms for support. Shift your weight forward until you feel your hips, your knees, your ankles in one long line. You can widen or narrow your stance as much as you need. Taking a twist, take your left hand right underneath your face. Inhale, your right arm up. Exhale, half bind. We did this before. Tuck your hand behind you. Press the floor away through your left hand. On your next inhale, re-extend your arm up. Exhale, release. Replace your right hand where your left was. Use your next inhale, float your left arm up. Open up your wrists. Take that half bind. Use your inhale, re-extend your arm up. Exhale, Prasarita. So just paying attention to how much weight you need in your hands. That's just an opportunity to take inventory for next time you show up to your mat. Press through your palms, create a halfway lift. Your upper body comes parallel to your mat. Toe heel your feet in. What I mean by that, pull your toes in, your heels in. Your toes in, your heels in. So we're awakening muscles in your core. Eventually finding a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, extended mountain pose. Bend your knees, press your heels down, take your arms up over your head. On your exhale, lower your hands in front of your chest. It's a little bit warm in your body. If you need to release heat, take a big breath in through your nose. Open your mouth, exhale. Inhale, open your eyes. Exhale, mountain pose, Tadasana. Inhale, extend your arms up over your head. Exhale, chair pose. Bend your knees, lower your hips. You may widen your stance for more stability. On your inhale, lean your torso forward. Take your arms with you. Exhale, reach your fingers behind you. Interlace all 10 fingers behind your back. Open up your chest, reach your knuckles back, breathe in. Exhale, forward fold with a bind. Reach your knuckles up overhead. Release effort in the back of your neck, in your face, your jaw. Widen your stance if you need to. Take a full inhale here. Bend your elbows towards your low back. Exhale, forward fold. Use your next inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale, tuck round and curl, lift your heels high, bend your knees. Draw your forehead towards your knees. Who's ready for wine? The remainder of class will spend just reclined on your back. So no more balancing, no more heat. Let's take a sip of wine. Okay, finding a straddle. So some days it's a very narrow straddle. Some days it's a little bit more, it doesn't matter. When we spend a lot of time seated, there's a lot of things that happen. Our shoulders start to round forward. The muscles in our chest literally consolidate. The muscles in our mid-back stretch out. So that's oftentimes why we have pain in the upper back. So let's first find some expansion in your low back. Take your left hand, reach it towards your right inner thigh. Take your right arm up and overhead. So side body stretch to start. If this is too much on your neck, maybe you shift your gaze down. Just think about your breath like scrubby bubbles. So wherever you feel a sensation, just pretend like you're sending your breath into whatever area of your body is holding on to something. Use your next inhale to come all the way back up. Second side, take your right hand towards your inner thigh. Right shoulder towards the top of your leg, reach up and over. Take another cycle of breath. Use the inhale to stretch your arms up over your head. Bend your knees in towards your chest and then spin around. All right, so here's where we'll use our props. So if you have a yoga mat, you can roll it up. If you have a pillow, you'll sit on that. I'm gonna sit on a pillow. So it's all about stretching your spine. It's called a seated forward fold. Common misconception is that it's a stretch for the back of your legs. What we're really trying to do is stretch your spine, the muscles that line your spinal column. So start with a generous bend in your knees, and then bring your sit bones right to the edge of whatever it is you're sitting on. Reach your arms up overhead. Keeping your spine long, start to hinge your torso forward. So elevating your hips just brings your pelvis more into a neutral position. Once you found your stopping point, when you start to round, that's your body telling you to stop. So back out a little bit. Take your hands toward your legs, pull your forearms in toward your shins, and then roll your shoulders back and down. Press your chest forward. If you crave a little bit more, you can scoot your heels further forward. Think about stretching your spine. You will likely feel it in the back of your legs, but let's let our primary focus to be the spine. Feel your belly on your thighs. Take a big inhale, feel your belly inflate. And then exhale completely. Even if it's just energetically feeling yourself getting deeper into the pose. Big inhale, your belly inflates, sending the breath to the back side of your body. And then exhale. If you would like dessert, I consider this dessert. If you would like to round forward, bringing your eyebrows towards your shins, feel free to do so. And whatever shape you're in, tiptoe your way all the way back up. Bend your knees to come out. Replace your decorative pillow behind you. And then meet me in whatever type of seat feels comfortable. So we talked about our chest muscles consolidating. So I have a little trick for that. Take your right index and middle finger and just find your collarbone. So right on the top of your collarbone, just feel the skin slide. Press down as much as you can. You can use your left fingertips right on top. As you press through your collarbones, begin to stretch the skin up and over your collarbones and then start to slide your fingertips down. We're looking for a pressure point. All at the same time, pull your right ear to your right shoulder. So this could feel pretty intense. Just breathe into it, full cycle of breath. Take this really slow, come all the way back up, and then we'll switch sides. Left index and middle finger, take it right on top of your collarbone. Right hand if you want some more support. Stretch the skin up and over your collarbone so your fingertips land right underneath it. And as you press in, slide your fingertips down as you pull your left ear to your left shoulder. One more cycle of breath. Next inhale, bring your head back upright. Take your fingers and clasp them behind your back. Roll your shoulders up toward your ears, back and down. Reach your knuckles towards the floor. Squeeze your shoulder blades towards one another. So every action has an equal and opposite reaction. As you engage the muscles in your upper back, your chest muscles get to do a big ha. So feel that. Squeeze your shoulder blades behind you. If it feels good in your body, you can shift your gaze up. Just like we did before, hinge from your hips, take your torso forward, keep your spine long, take your fingertips up overhead. Next inhale, bring yourself back upright. Shake it out. All right, we'll do some stuff for your feet. First, we'll grab a sip of wine. So a lot of what we've been doing is breaking up connective tissue in your body. So let's do the same thing for your feet that we did for your hands, your neck, your chest. So you'll find a seat with your heels lifted. Bear as much weight as you can on your heels. I'll turn around and face you. So oftentimes when things get hard, we have that voice that kicks in. So if you're experiencing pain, bring yourself back out. If you're experiencing something that feels different or uncomfortable, I encourage you to stay. So with your toes tucked under, let all the weight of your pelvis sit in your heels. Use your inhale to reach your arms up overhead. Bend your right elbow, slide your fingers down your back. So we talk a lot about text neck, or the chiropractors do. So we do plenty of that. Let's bring your neck into alignment with your spine and then actively press the back of your head into your forearm. Pull your belly muscles in, keep your spine nice and long. So you've been prepping for this. If you'd like a little bit more, take your left hand behind your back. Fingertips may be 4 feet from one another. They may get really close. They may clasp. Doesn't matter. Finding growth in your own way. Re-engage your belly if you've lost it. Press the back of your hand into your right forearm. Take a cycle of breath. Use the exhale to release. Find a tabletop pose. Bring some blood flow back to your feet. And we'll do it again. And then we'll cheers. Tuck your toes behind you. Take your arms up overhead. Bend your left elbow this time. I find it helpful to close my eyes. You can really feel whether or not your spine is aligned. It doesn't have to be straight, but we want it aligned. The crown of your head over your tailbone. And you may find this side is different. It's either staying right here or taking the expression of the full bind. Take your right hand back behind you. Pull your forearms back. Press your head back into your forearm. Engage your belly. Take a cycle of breath. Just like we did before, tabletop with a drum roll. I have no concept of time.
23 minutes.
Perfect. We'll have to cut and restart.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Okay. Wait, can we pause for a second?
Yeah.
I gotta think.
Well, yeah, and we can just even, if you want it to just keep rolling, he can just...
Yeah, she got that.
Yeah.
Hi, Dustin. I'm thinking. Well, because I didn't have a plan, so I'm like, where am I at? What have we not done? Hips.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, like, in a moment, I got, like, one, like, you know when your throat, just, like, one little section goes dry?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, that's the last thing. No COVID in the background.
No,
yeah. Like, we're easing their minds. But I do know what you mean. Maybe, like, Pigeon Pose.
That's what I was just thinking. I just keep thinking, like, is it too much?
Maybe neck rolls? Like just...
Peter Asterios used to do those, and I really loved it. Okay, so we got 6 minutes left. Okay. We're back.
Also, you could do, like, an assisted, you know, like a child's pose where they're, like, resting their chest on 2 pillows.
Oh, yeah, it's
And-
with that microphone, I worry that when my face is down, they can't hear, as opposed to, like, this one.
Okay.
Okay, so we just tabletopped with a drum roll. Okay, a couple more things. Before we sip our wine, take your right knee forward, step your foot behind your hand. If you're feeling pretty good, kick your left heel up. So our goal is to get your kneecap all the way up off of the mat. Press your torso upright, grab the inside arch of your foot, point your toes. Start to pull your heel in towards your seat. It's a little twist, good for digestion while we stretch out the front of your left leg. Then begin to slowly lower down. Plant your fingertips like teepees underneath your shoulders. Toe heel your foot over, Pigeon Pose. Lay the outside of your shin bone down. Your body's going to tell you right away whether or not this is a good move. You'd like to move on. Start to tiptoe your knee back. So oftentimes we move into this posture, the hips want to move side to side because they're too tight to keep them squared. So this is where the hip pillow comes into play. Take the pillow underneath one of your sit bones or a book or whatever. Take your spine up nice and tall first. Begin to walk your hands forward for sleeping pigeon pose, listening to your knees, listening to your low back. You feel any sensation in your knees? A little trick here is to curl your toes in towards your shin. If you don't feel anything in your knees, then it's okay to just keep your foot soft. Eventually landing with your forearms underneath your shoulders like Sphinx Pose. Close your eyes, take a couple cycles of breath. See if you can make the cadence of your breath a little bit longer. Start to walk yourself back upright. If you have a prop underneath your hip, place it off to the side. Back to tabletop pose. Make sure your hands are shoulder width apart. Bring your knees back underneath your hip bones. Switch to the second side. Take your left foot in. Place your palms on top of your leg. Begin to lean forward. Adjust this foot as you need to. Bring all the weight off of the top of your thigh. Reach for the inside arch of your foot. Curl your heel in toward your seat as you twist. So I call this a twofer. It's a 2-for-1. You may notice one side has a little bit more sensation than the other, and that's your body telling you, hey, give me a little bit more attention here. So maybe you stay there a little bit longer after class. You do it a little bit more. Moving into your half pigeon pose, toe heel your foot over. Lay the outside of your shin bone down. Take a prop underneath your sit bones. Scooch this back heel. Take a look at your back foot, so making sure that your middle toe, your heel, your knee, your hip are in one long line. Your body permits. Press your fingers, create some space in your spine. Use the exhale to crawl forward. Sphinx pose in your upper body. Plant your elbows underneath your shoulders. Reach your earlobes away from your shoulders. The more our body is grounded, what I mean by grounded, not like a woo-woo yogi thing, literally your left sit bone being grounded, resting on something if it doesn't easily rest on the floor. It's like your body taking a sip of wine and just being like, ah. Allow yourself to be grounded. Press something underneath there if you need to. We're here, just one more cycle of breath. Walk yourself back upright to your tabletop. Prop off to the side if you have it. From your tabletop, lower onto your belly. Walk your knees further back than your hips. Use the strength of your arms to lower all the way down to your belly. Place the top of your feet onto the mat. Walk your fingertips really wide. And then look first. You want your arms at a 90-degree bend. Extend your elbows from your shoulders. Plant your wrists underneath your elbows. Shift your gaze down so your neck is long. Use your next inhale to press through your fingers. Lift your torso up. Exhale, dip your right shoulder. Look over the left. Inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, switch. One more each side. Inhale back to center. Exhale, switch. So we're priming your spine, your back muscles to strengthen. One more like that. Come back to center. If that felt really good in your body, you can stick with that. Moving on, Locust Pose. Reach your fingertips behind you. Place your palms in. Roll your shoulders back and down. With your chest lifted, the sides of your neck long. Exhale to lift your heels. The more strength you have in your spine, the less pain. Strengthening the muscles that are often overstretched from hunching forward. Take a full breath in. And then exhale, lower down, rest the tops of your hands down, rest your chin. We'll do that one more time with a bind and release your fingers behind your back. Reach your knuckles towards your heels, lift your torso up. So feeling really open in your chest. Stay here, begin to lift your heels. Take one more full breath in. And then exhale to lower down. Place your hands underneath your shoulders, press back up into tabletop pose. Walk your knees in towards one another. Press your hips towards your heels. Same thing as your hips in pigeon pose. If your forehead does not easily ground, you can stack your fist, you can stack your forearms. If your forehead easily meets your mat, take your hands alongside your shins. So oftentimes, most of us only use a third of our lungs capacity. So take a couple deep cycles of breath, letting your belly compress in towards your thighs. Sending the breath into the depths of your lungs. Healthy, strong lungs, healthy, strong heart. One more cycle of breath, just like that. Fill up. And release. All right, find your tabletop. Crawl your way forward to find your wine. Take a sip. Maybe you slam it. Doesn't matter, nobody's watching. Finding a comfortable seat. With your legs out in front of you, I offer you Baddha Konasana. Bring the soles of your feet together. Take your palms on top of your shin bones. You'll scooch the flesh underneath you. So all the weight's on your sit bones. And sit up nice and tall to begin. We'll close today with 3 cycles of cat-cow with this butterfly shape of your legs. As you inhale, pull your shoulders back, press your chest forward, lift your chin away from your chest. Exhale, round your upper back, pull your chin towards your chest. Your arms will prevent you from falling, but let all of your body weight really lean back. 2 more times like that. Inhale, lift. Exhale, pull it in. One last time, lift yourself all the way up. And then pull it in. Come back to center. If it feels good in your legs, do this. If you prefer a crisscross shape, with your left arm alongside you, take your right arm up and over. Bend your left elbow toward your hip crease. Lift yourself back up, change sides. Right arm alongside you, left arm up and over. Oh, but I can't. Okay, come back up. Bring your hands together in front of your chest. Press your thumbs right into your chest. Well, cheers in the moment, but just for now, close your eyes and just find gratitude. What's something in your life that brings an immense amount of joy? Maybe so much joy that it brings tears to your eyes. And to honor that, let's cheers that. Open your eyes. Grab your glass of wine if you have one. Water if you've been winding it up and just need to hydrate. Thanks for joining me. Have an amazing rest of your day. And I'll see you next week. Thank you, guys.